So how you been doing lately, Danielle? I know I probably messaged you on Facebook. It's me, Richard Wood. So how you doing? I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while, and I know your phone's quite down. It's not ringing on the thing. It's showing like cannot accept calls right now. I called your phone number, and you're the one you gave me a while back. But I don't know if the text message is still working. Probably is. But I usually do with my text messages on my things because I try to keep my phone number in place. That's what I usually do. My phone number is still the same on my text messages and my phone on my device because it usually does for my because the thing called text now is actually quite good. You just need it just calls from your device. You can use Wi-Fi on it. I use that when I call that. It's actually my numbers. I have other numbers too, but you can also use things like Google Voice. That actually does work. For like if you have an account with YouTube, it usually will work. But my number is still quite the same, the 772 number, the one you seen a while back. I don't know if you still have that number this day. I send you the messages to try to get a hold of me, and I'll give you the number on here, so if you can try to contact me or call me. It's not your fault. Okay, honey? We've been trying to get a hold for a while. I know it's been quite hard here for me in Utah. So, it's just like I've been trying to tell you, honey, I know. We're twin flames. I didn't say anything bad about you and stuff. You know me. But, if you didn't got those text messages I sent to you and told you everything was going back, the messages I sent to you, I sent it to your daughter actually has it. I was trying to tell her, I sent it to Liz, and I sent it to Stephanie. And then I sent it in snail mail letters. I was trying to get a hold of you. But I was trying to get a hold of you months ago. Because I had to walk at least 3 miles for you to get the letter sent to you. Because I know something didn't look right. I was trying to get a hold of you because I couldn't get a hold of communications because I was trying to get a hold of you because I know I was trying to get a hold of you on Facebook. But I know, you have to understand, honey, I know. But I sent you the snail mail letter because me and Blake were trying to get you a phone because I already have a phone and I have all those devices. I have at least a few devices for you to have. Even the tablet, but you don't worry, they're already set up because I have everything like written all down for you and printed out because I don't know if you did got the ones I wrote down to you back in 2016 when we sent back in April. I think it was June it was. I remember the text messages where you wrote to me like you told me it was okay to send it to your mom's. So I do get some stuff once in a while to you every once in a while when I find stuff. I usually are on point sites and stuff. Sometimes I do less deal once in a while, but I do a lot of point sites on everything what I do these days. It's just like I'm trying to tell you, honey, I know. It's been quite hard on me because the Mormons in Utah are kind of hard on me here. And let me tell you, if you're a non-Mormon person, you're nothing here where I'm at. But we get a lot of help, a lot of snowstorms during like 9 months of winter. I don't know, usually you usually get like 3 months. And it's been very hard on me. And it's been hard on my mother too with her breast cancer. She has osteoporosis. You know what osteoporosis is? That's what my mom has. Because all that chemo did this to her. And she still has breast cancer this day. She has osteoporosis. It's a skin disease. It's like what she's got to do now. She has to rebuild her whole body to drink dairy products to keep it from doing it. If she takes one fall, her bones can shatter and she can go to the hospital and stuff. My grandma had it during in Tennessee. But I'm telling you, honey, yeah. I'm just telling you. But I'm telling you, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while. What's going on with you? I know you know who used your every time. I know you didn't text those messages about what you said all this and said that because someone actually told me Someone actually stole your phone. I was trying to get a hold of you, that's why. And it led to some worse things like that because I was pissed off at the weather because this snowstorm weather. Because let me tell you, you know how that is. And I thought you said this and said that because I know you didn't said this and said this about me. And what the let me tell you, I know what happened to your cell phone because I know your number is still quite the same. But nobody shouldn't be taking your cell phones and texting things behind your back, you know what I mean? I would never do that to you, you know what I mean? We need to find a better way we can communicate with each other, we can talk to each other. We have to have a trust worth lying, but let me tell you, you can always get a text now account because you can actually get it on your mobile device, but you need to put it on a separate device nobody does not know. But the only way you keep your number is you have another number, like you text like a blank number or something that doesn't nobody will not know about. You can have two text accounts or something like that, or just use a Google Voice and text on one of those from the text, and that's how you can keep your number. You can get a 904 number, you can get any number you want. Because I have my original text now because I usually use my iPhone when I usually do that because it usually use my Wi-Fi when it calls. But it connects to all your things. It'll actually hook up to your Facebook and all that stuff. It will do that if you get one of them, a Google Voice account or a Google Voice or Text Now. Usually will work. But you can always have a cell phone. But what's happened to your track phone? But I have a track phone for you and a tablet. These are the same tablet I got months ago. All you have to do is just, it'll run all the updates, but it'll still work fine because I have a tablet and it's mostly KitKat, but it's pretty good. But the track phone I got you is an Android Lollipop, and everything is set on the phone in there. I don't know. Did I send those the stuff on the passwords to you during the time for your iPhone? Because I was gonna send it to you, and I put it in the package. And what happened that day when I was gonna get the package sent out to you, my mom was going through my stuff through the package when I was sent to you because it was too heavy. And I think the accounts I was supposed to send you, it must have been she must have took it out or something that way. But I had copies of it too. Don't worry. Because I was trying to tell you, honey, I know. But I do have a lot more snail letters. If you want me to send me some more, let me know. Let me know if you want me to send me some snail mails to the addresses your mom's address you gave me. If you want me to do that, let me know. Because I got some R stamp. But I was trying to get a hold of you for months. But I gotta find a way we can get a package sent to you. Because I have a tablet for you. And I have I have at least 2 purses for you. And I have your Heart of the Ocean necklace because I have an extra phone inside of it too you can use, but yeah, if I want to put an extra phone in it, I do usually do, but it has everything you do. I don't know what's going on here either way. I know I'm having a hard time in Utah because it's very lonely a lot. And some days I don't even get to go out anymore. I usually do every once in a while. But mostly my mom does everything with horse farm stuff. And mostly my sister is getting into trying to get a job apply for the USDA for meat expectation. She's trying to get into college courses for that, to take that, to go to school. Like it could be in one of the states in Colorado or Texas, but usually I'll still be here because that's what my sister's trying to apply a job for. But I don't know what's happening right now. My parents want to move back out east. They want to go to Texas or they want to go back to Florida. I don't know. I don't feel everything is so right. What's going on? I just feel like I want to run away when I do because everything doesn't feel right. I've been on the road all my life since I was a child. You know what I mean? Since 1983. Yeah, that's how long I've been on the road ever since I travel. I've been on the road ever since I was born. The only way I got to Utah because my father was framed from his phone company that did out east where what happened. I told you all about the story and all those things. I know, honey. We need to get back on Facebook and re-add each other. You don't have to. I don't care if you have another. If you do have another Facebook account, we can add it on that, and you don't have to tell the world about it. But I know your other one still runs great. Come on. You gotta re-add me back on your list. I know you can do things. I know you're working hard jobs every day. It's not your fault, honey. I know I love you so much. Don't hate me. I know you didn't say all those things about what that person texts on your phone. You know who it is who did this, and you know how it can lead to bad things like that. You know how karma leads to bad things in this world. That's why we're twin flames, honey. Twin flames are kind of different. You know, my whole entire life I never hit you or beat you or abuse you or anything like that. When we were in school, remember a long time ago? You know, like you used to kick me between my legs and you told me like you were playing the paper thing we were doing once at our thing, and he says like, I never hit back at you. I never did. You remember all those times you sat on my lap every day and look at my eyes every day and say, and all the other girls hated me because I was so different. Think about it, honey. And I went through a horrible hurricane that year. Hurricane Andrew would destroy the world. I don't know how's going on with that Hurricane Irma. Everybody's freak out over everything over food and stuff because that's usually the first part happens. It's always the food and water is always the main sources when you run out. I saw what it did in one of those areas of Riverside and Jacksonville. All the storm surge going up to the apartments like 1 foot. That's not even a Category 5 storm. And at 5, the whole thing would have been underwater. I think what's happening in your city, they just need to put some bilge pumps. If you put some bilge pumps in that city, you'll be great. You can build one of those what do they call it? A seawall, like they have like in Galveston, Texas. They have. You can they break up the waves. If you have the seawall, if it was right above where the parking lot is, if you build one, if they put something between it, I think that water would have never got into those areas in Riverside. I think they could solve the flood problems. But you know, it's always storm surges up near Mayport and Atlantic Beach because I've seen it on the NOAA charts. I know, honey, you have to understand. I know what's going on. We know what's going on. These hurricanes they do. And it's like more hurricanes are getting more violent now. It's going to probably be another one next year, and everything's going to destroy the whole freaking world. Is the world coming to an end these days or somewhat? But in Utah, we've been having like little small earthquakes each day now on. My mom's getting freaked out because they've been like 40 to 50 miles away from here. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's Yellowstone going on. I don't think it's blowing up or nothing. Maybe it's usually normal. The highest in Utah usually has earthquakes 7.0s. But I've seen videos what 7.0s can do. But I'm up in the benches where I usually have, and I won't be able to feel it at all. I don't know. I could die in an earthquake any day, but mostly we don't get hurricanes at all. We get storms and snowstorms, but we get like those little tiny earthquakes, but not like the ones like they have in California they usually have. It's usually normal they have it. I don't know, honey. You just gotta come back from me. You need to unblock me. I just wanted to try to show you some more things of interest about me. I know. You know me, I never talk bad about you. You know how things get into things when I start thinking my daydreams. You got to look at my heart and look at everything the way I am. You shouldn't be mad at me the way I think these things. Because, you know, we always have our things, and let me tell you, it's not your fault. Like, what would you think about everything about school if you had someone that really loved you for the world? What would be the number one thing everybody always think about? I mean, twin flames are quite great. We're twin flames, honey. Twin flames have all these things. You gotta think about it. We still have our old school pages running great. I still do videos every once in a while, and I usually post videos, movies out there. I actually have an event running right now on it, because I've been running on one of those video stream pages they actually have, but I usually keep it updated once in a while, but I put a lot of those videos, I make it like an Amakani channel for those people who can watch the videos, and it's about everything about our school, but there might be other Amakani twin flames out there too, you know? But I put out videos from the 90s and 80s, but you have to understand, I try to fix some of that to try to nail that source. It's not your fault if I send messages to you every once, a lot of times that way. You just have to overlook at them sometimes. You gotta overlook at it. Because if you were talking to me in the real world, you would be looking at things different. You know what I mean? But the way I create I create things to try to create good societies out there. I'm trying to teach the world not to go into the bad societies. Our pages are not about bad societies. They're about everything what we have to do. Because would it be not because Amakani has to stay alive the way for every each day? Because I know, but our old school, because I looked at the predicament, in another 100 years, it's going to be storms. It'll be the whole place will be underwater about before 2090. I think it is probably. I don't know. You have to understand. I didn't do this to you at all. You have to promise. I know. I was trying to get a hold of you because, and plus I send you a lot of things in the mail during the months of Christmas and during January and February and March. All those things in the mailbox to your moms I send a lot of that stuff for you because you have because let me tell you, yeah. I usually do my own stuff on that because I do points on that and I order my own stuff. But I order stuff every once in a while for you. I've been sending a lot of stuff to you back those months ago. You had like a Christian Cross, 9210 CD, Danica McKellar DVD. Because I wanted to get you some yoga skills to try to help you to make you feel good about yourself, to release some stress. I was trying to give it to you for a stress reliever, for yoga CD, for Dana McKellar, because you probably would understand her. Yeah, she has a video online, but she's quite smart the way it is, but I was trying to give you some help to improve your health life better, you know what I mean? That's why I gave you the yoga DVD. She makes several different ones, but then I sent you a 9210 Season 2 because I thought you actually liked 9210 because that was actually your first show when you saw it. Think about it, honey. We watch the same stuff and we talk about it when we're kids. It's like these days, when you see shit on TV, there's nothing to talk about because they can't even fit on the subject, you know what I mean? It's like if we knew all about the old school movies, it's like that. It's not my fault because I'm your twin flame. Don't be mad. Because at that point, we have to get good on our communication. And we have to try to communicate with each other better, you know what I mean? Sometimes we get mixed up in things. It's not your fault, honey. I know you love me and I love you so much. You just have to look at things and be different. But it's very hard for me in Utah right now. You know, I'm not a 33 Mason and I'm not all that shit because my father was in the military. I was in on-base schools and public schools. You know all that. Yeah, that's who wrote in that text message about that. That's what that jerk that was telling me all that crap. Wrote in bad messages. I'm not one of them. I even have a hard time here in Utah fitting. Yeah, the Mormons are nice, but when they start noticing you for a while, you're not one of them. They usually cut away from you and they isolate your whole entire family. Even here, they isolate my whole family. The only ones who are the non-Mormons, they usually come here, but most of the Mormons don't bother you. But sometimes they do come out once in a while and they do things like that, but mostly they isolate you for everything. Yeah, it's like when my mother had her breast cancer months ago. They all helped her out. And then after a few months later, when they sent missionaries to her house, and my mom says, yeah, I knew all this and all that, and telling like she didn't need their help and shit like that. And mostly, they all this away because most of these Mormon mothers, they usually call their churches and stuff, and they send missionaries to people's houses. But I don't get missionaries at all, very rarely at all. but mostly they stay to themselves a lot and they just look at you like you're something over there. Mostly they only come out during the month of Halloween and Christmas time, and they usually do that. They usually come to your house for Halloween, stuff like that, to trick or treat and stuff. You have a different life where you live. You get people visit you all the time. Me, I live in an isolation world where I live. It's harder on my parents and it's harder on me. But my sister goes out on dates with her boyfriend every once in a while. He's a Mormon guy, but he used to be one of them on the things like that. But mostly they treat the women like second classes here, sweetheart. I'm telling you, it's true. It's like her boyfriend was treating me bad for 3 to 4 years. I ain't told you a lot about it. I told you some things about it, honey. I know. Then about a month ago, he confessed to me and say, "Oh, I apologize to you and stuff like that. And I've been treating you so mean for the last 3 years and a half." That's what he was telling me. His name is Richard Foster, but he had some freaking debate wars with my sister. But it was like a couple months ago around December 2016 and during January 2000. That's why I was having a hard time with snowstorms. Because my mother was treated bad in some way. Because my sister had a breakup, then she came back together after 3 months later with him again. And mostly my sister has like a new car now, but she bought it for a pretty less cheap price, but mostly she does her own job and stuff and everything. Mostly my mother still has the breast cancer either way. I know it's hard on me right now. I don't know how hard it's on you. I'm sorry you've been mistreated all your whole life. I know how Jason did that to you all your life and threw you on the side. And mostly he probably had a new love in his life and just went the flow with them. You know how that is. I've seen guys like this before my whole entire life. I'm sorry you've been mistreated bad on both fronts. Believe me, on both sides. I've been mistreated ever since I was freaking 5 years old. Because I had a grandpa that used to hate my guts, that wanted to beat my mother when she was in her mid-20s, when he didn't got his way. When I was inside my mama's womb, it's like the safest thing in the whole wide world. You know those things. That's why it's always feel warm and love inside of those things, when you're being created in the world. Honey, I know how babies work in this world. It's alright. But if I had a child with you, I would never treat you bad in any way, no matter what. My mother taught me all those things for years, and I told you all about that stuff. Because my grandpa, my dad's father is down south. My grandpa that way. Because when I was a baby, when I was a long time ago, honey. He was pouring Corleen inside the pool filter. He looked at my mama dirty, very in a bad look, when my mom was swimming with me when she was pregnant with me. He was looking at her dirty looks. That's what my mother told me. I think he wanted to kill me and try to kill me with my sperm inside my body. You know what I mean? He wanted to try to murder me. That's probably why the way I was born the way I am. Why I was a deaf child. Because I think what happened was something, I don't know. I just don't understand how it happened. Then, when I was 5 years old, all he did kept controlling me at the dinner table, yelling at me and stuff like that, and slamming his hand on the table. You know, like Kevin Arnold's dad in The Wonder Years, you ever seen that guy, how he yells at his Kevin Arnold, but he was more like the nicer version of him in the show. That's different. In the real world, he was much worse. Same voice tone. But this is the same father. This is the father that abused my father when he was 8 years old. When he took a baseball bat and hit a ball in between a fish tank on accident. He didn't really mean to do anything. So he beat him up each day and he got to do it. My uncle down south, when he fought during the World War II era, during the D-Day War and all those things, he actually got my father out of the abuse and kept him over his house many times. and he was been around Florida since the 1940s because he used to be a writer for Key West, and he used to be a Coast Guard auxiliary for the Florida Keys in the 1940s and 50s. But he died when I was 15 years old. He lived till he was 70 years old. Most of my mom's side of the family lives to 90 years old. Probably can live to 100. I know, honey, but you gotta listen to me. Please listen to yourself. You need to see all those things, what's going on in you. Please listen to you. You gotta listen to your heart. Can you see what's going on in you? You gotta look at those signs of yourself. Can you feel it? I know you can feel it. I didn't mean to do all these things. But I need to tell you about the Heart of the Ocean necklace. I got that. It took me until like September last year, 2016. It was probably before October. And you told me you didn't want to paint the box. What happened at that point with that box? I got it ordered from that lady on Lestia.com. She was one of those fake sellers that wanted to try to mess around, and I had to wait for almost 2 months or a month to get it, to try to get it delivered, and she didn't deliver it. And this woman's in St. Augustine, Florida, kept screwing all these people over. Sometimes you get these Lestia scammers, sometimes you don't. So I had to claim my credits back, and what I did, I bought a cigar box, almost the size of that one. I got it from someone else. It took me a while to save the credits, and I did what I did. It was during those whole months of June and August it was, and then until I got one of those velvet type, black type dresses from someone else up north from Lestia.com. I usually earn on Lestia once in a while because the credits, what happened, the credits go up every year and they jack up the prices on Lestia.com. They do that all the time. And I need to tell you about that. But honey, you need to listen to me. I'm not the one that's doing all this stuff. You have to understand. But back then when those text messages they were sent back during January 2017, and sometimes we got mixed understanding because sometimes it could trigger off anger in wrong ways. You know what I mean? How things happen, and think this person said this about you and said this, and which you did not. Trust me, I told you. He called you the B word. And he said I cannot stand the B word. That's what he said. Then he kept trying to shove down the things about girlfriends down my throats and stuff like that. Like, he said, you know what a girlfriend is? I didn't want to speak about it. Then I was like, yeah, you know, when I was writing all that stuff about it, you know how I wrote the text messages and stuff. Like, when I usually don't say anything, you know. That's what's been going on with you. That's why you don't see the misunderstandings. Please see the truth in your heart, honey. You know me. You know me for a long time. I know I can't help it. We're twin flames for the world. If you're a twin flame, stick by me. We've been best friends ever since, and I know if you still love me this day, I love you no matter what. But I don't understand, honey, you have a job to do it, but sometimes we text each other. I like to text you because I try to talk to you once in a while. I don't have anyone to talk to you in this world, but you, because I think, because you have to understand it's been a long time we haven't seen each other for a while. I would have loved you to come see me alone when you have some time. But I'm trying to tell you some things. You need to listen to how the world works. I know a lot about those places in North Florida where you're at. You need to believe me. You listen to me. There's a lot of things I can try to avoid you. A lot of bad things in this world. I've seen a lot of women have a lot of mistakes of this way. I have seen women got dumped over nothing for things like their children get left in the middle of the woods in White Springs and places like Live Oak and Calvin and Lake City. I've seen a lot of women get dumped on their sides, mostly from a lot of divorces and truck drivers and stuff like that. North Florida has a lot of this stuff like karma. They have tons of it. You gotta believe me, and I know you would. But you need to listen to yourself. I know, honey. But I'll try to keep calling you and try to text you on your phone, but if you're still there, you're still there. But I was trying to look around like what the heck's going on here. And there's a lot of confusion what's going on here. And I don't know what's going on with you. Is it what you took my word when I told you about what we said about in October 2014 when I told you about everything? When we talked about it? Is that what you're doing right now? When we talked about it? But please don't leave me again. You need to get me all unblock all my rich wood things and Richie Wood and stuff. Like, come on. I could be your best thing to help you out in this world. Because you know you. I just got to get those packages sent to you when I have some time. I have the money for it. I can have enough to send it out, but we need to find a place to get it sent and make sure everything is safe. Because I got to make sure everything's good. But I have my text phone number if you want to text me. I'll put my phone number in here if you want to text me anytime you want. You need a private messaging right now. I didn't do this to you. Has this been happening ever since? It's been happening to you since 2016? There's something going on. And I did not do this to you in this world. There's a lot of things that have been confusing about what's going on, but I'm glad you got a job at the steakhouse. That's pretty cool. But look, but I'm just telling you. But the bad point is, you don't want to be stressed over it too much and too easy, because you get overstressed about it. It can really, you got to worry about your health, sweetheart, about your COPDs and all that stuff. You need to listen to me. If you were living with me right now, I would not take your phones and steal them right behind your back and text a bunch of crap. My mother wouldn't even let me do that. If I wanted to help her add someone on the list, I would. But I don't do that crap to you. I would not take your phone. That's my promise. I would never take your phone and text things behind your back. You need to believe me. And I would never do that for you like that. Because like if someone did that, you would find out no matter what. Women are not stupid. And I know you have that capability. You need to look at things. You need to open the truth to see your heart. Twin flames cannot lie about things like that because they can't. And twin flames usually tell you the truth no matter what, but you have to try to understand them. If you can see a twin flames the way they are, you can see it between their minds. I know you can. It's like, we're twin flames, honey. I know. I saw the day of the first day in school. I saw your white light. I wrote that passage note. That is definitely true when I drew those hearts and everything about you. Come on. You wish you went back before high school and everything with the world was right and changed it right way. I think the one thing you would change about is you should have fought against that principle. It's not your fault. You should have fought against him either way. But it's not your fault, sweetheart. I know. It's not your fault you lived in a perfect school. You were fighting to protect your friends from bullies because you know how bullies were mean. They're even much meaner now. I'm seeing too much. This world's gone too much mad right now. And the way what's going to happen is like we're going to probably get nuked by North Korea someday in the future. Because the world is going to go to end soon. I don't know if we're going to live tomorrow to tell the world either way. But your life can end any day of this world if that happens. You got to understand. I know. I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while. But we gotta find a way. We gotta get these packages sent to you. We need to find a way to get to you somehow. If you want me to send to your mom's, I still have your address. Don't worry, but I still send there every once in a while. I get some kind of item once in a while, but it takes a while. But I've been having a very hard time here for me, and I'm always alone most of the time. I don't know, but I wish you could come back and we can talk more, and I can show you more interest about me and stuff like that. I do videos with my drones once in a while, my projects. You just have to look at me sometimes. But you know, like you told me when you always say, "Are you okay?" And I wrote all about that, about Hurricane Andrew. That's my PST scar. It still lives in me this day. I would like to tell you more about my PST scars. You're my best thing to cure my scars for the world. I know you can do it. You be the best thing to talk about things. I know, honey. I know you're trying to take care of your little children in this world, to try to do all those things, to try to get them into good school and all that crap. It's not my fault. I know. I understand how that is, sweetheart. You know that. I would never ever do anything. I would never talk bad about you in front of your kids or anything like that. It's my promise. I tell good things about you. But I will never do that to you in this world. And that's my promise. And I know you how you think. Even my neighbors down south know I'm not like that. But mostly all my neighbors down south left me, and mostly all my friends are not now. But even my friend Wally Wallace hasn't contacted me for almost a year now. The last time I talked to him a couple of months back, 2015, I think it was like early 2016 in January, but I haven't heard anything from him in a while. I don't know if he's alive or dead, but he does text to my mother once in a while, but I barely ever hear him at all. And mostly my aunt doesn't even have me on her list anymore in Oklahoma. They all turn against me because they hate me. Please don't hate me, okay? You gotta get me all on block on all my things from Richie Wood, and stuff like that. Look, I have tablets for you and I have phones for you. We need to get it sent to you, because if we can get them sent to your mom's house, that'd be great. But I order everything once in a while. You said it was okay with you. I can send stuff to you. That's what you told me when you wrote on your text messages a while back. Yes. I order stuff on there once in a while and I do that. You just gotta understand, honey, okay? I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful week this week. This is Richard. Thanks.